Hello, you're watching the business headlines on HW News with me, Ali Azhar. Spending on space research has hit an all-time high under the Narendra Modi government. Union budget data showed that for financial year 2018-19, an amount of 11,538 crore rupees or 0.46% of total budgetary expenditure was spent on space research. This is the highest amount ever spent in absolute terms and even as a percentage of budgetary spending. This figure of 0.46% is the highest in much over a decade. The results of this increased expenditure is bearing fruit, as just yesterday, after keeping the nation guessing for an hour, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that India has catapulted into an elite club of 4 nations which have anti-satellite missile capability, which can shoot down an enemy satellite attempting to spy on India at a height of 300 kilometers in the Earth's orbit. A demonstration of this missile capability was carried out by shooting down a live satellite. Russia, China and the US are the only other nations that have developed such anti-satellite technology. Under the Modi-led NDA government, India's spending on space research almost tripled. India spent 11,538 crore rupees in 2018-19, while in 2009-10 it spent only 4,163 crore rupees. The chart depicts an uneven pattern of expenditure on space research for years ending from 2010 to 2014. However, under the Modi regime, it shows a steady upswing since 2015 and tops out in 2019 at an impressive figure of over 11,500 crores. A steady rise in spending on space research as a percentage of total government spending can be noticed as well, having risen from 0.35% in 2015 to 0.46% in 2019. According to experts, the jump happened mainly due to an increase in capital expenditure. Hence, this benefit is expected to be spread over a number of years. The latest technology developed by India will act as a deterrent to China that is constantly looking at ways to indulge in espionage against other nations, particularly India. However, India's space budget as a percentage of GDP is among the lowest compared to other space powers. India spends just 0.06% of its GDP on space research and exploration, while the US and Russia spend 0.23% and 0.22% of their GDP respectively. The Indian Premier League or the IPL has seen a massive jump in reach as well as average viewership in its first weekend. And not entirely coincidentally, brands such as Vivo, Coca-Cola, Swiggy, etc. are spending sharply higher amounts on advertisements on its 12th season. The network reached 219 million viewers across India for the first 3 matches in the opening weekend, which is 31% higher than last year's opening weekend. Reach in Hindi-speaking markets grew by 30%, while in the south, reach was up by 20%. The overall reach of the opening day match was 133 million viewers, the highest among the first 3 matches. Reach is defined as the total number of individuals who viewed the event for at least 1 minute. On a per match basis, average impressions were 105 million, which was 29% increase since last year. Impressions refer to the number of people watching the tournament at any given point on the telecast. Official broadcaster Star India is airing the IPL live across 24 channels in the country this season, up from 10 channels last year. This increased reach and viewership translates into increased revenue for all and sundry. Star India expects an earnings from ad sales on TV and digital of 2,100 crore rupees, which would be an increase of 20% over last year. Co-presenting sponsors are expected to pay somewhere in the range of 100 crores and associate sponsors somewhere between 50 and 70 crore rupees. The financial year has almost come to an end, and the one government department which is under the maximum pressure to complete its quota of work, or collections in this case, is the Income Tax Department. With just 4 days remaining before the financial year ends, the Central Board of Direct Taxes, or CBDT, has sent a strongly worded letter to senior income tax officials warning them of an alarming situation. As on Tuesday, direct tax collections stood at 10.29 trillion rupees or 10,29,000 crores against a target of 12 trillion or 12 lakh crores for the year, leaving a shortfall of 1.71 trillion to be collected in the next few days if the tax department wants to please their superiors in the finance ministry. An estimated shortfall of 60 to 70,000 crore rupees is expected, which should add further strain on the already slipping fiscal position in the country that it finds itself in. The CBDT has asked for urgent action, especially with respect to areas and current demand to achieve the collection target. The department is also said to have requested banks to credit TDS for the fourth quarter by 31st March in a timely fashion. Thank you for watching HW News. This is me signing off. Have a great day.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.